Hi, I'm Laura Engel, and you're in the strategy room. Newly released FBI documents showed Undersecretary Patrick Kennedy offered a quid pro quo during the Hillary Clinton email probe, and Republicans are now pressuring the State Department to remove Kennedy in the wake of the document release. Joining me now, Democratic strategist David Mercer and Republican strategist Brad Blakeman. Welcome to you both.
Thanks.
Been looking forward to asking you guys about this. There's a lot to get through. I want to start with you, David. You break this down for us. Was this just a classic case of if you scratch my back, I'll scratch yours? You know, when you look through some of these documents, it does seem a little bit more damning.
Absolutely, unequivocally, no. And that is, let's start with the facts. And the point being, the major point being, is that in the arbitration of what's classified and not classified, which goes on among agencies all the time, and that's what was going on here. But secondly, it was later that the FBI agent in this instant had asked about overseas office space. It was not the State Department nor Undersecretary Kennedy who put that in the same breath or in the same terms as he did in negotiating whether a document or an email was to be classified or not. So they're separate and apart, but it was the FBI agent, not the State Department nor Kennedy, that had mentioned the office space for FBI agents that might be available from the State Department. And two things. One is the classification was not changed, and nor was there any deal made on office space.
All right, the very important distinctions. Donald Trump at a campaign rally in Wisconsin said that this new revelation is, quote, worse than Watergate, and that this is one of the, quote, great miscarriages of justice in the history of our country. Some big headline there. Brad, your thoughts on that?
Well, there is no doubt that there's an appearance, at least circumstantially, if not direct, that there was a quid pro quo. The fact that it was discussed in a criminal investigation is an outrage. The FBI wanted to make a deal for themselves to increase their manpower, and the State Department wanted to get out of the trouble that they're in by showing that there were classified documents on her server. Look, this is just one part of the puzzle of the Clintons. Look, she had a private server when she was the Secretary of State. It wasn't incidental. It was exclusive. All her official government...
Been dealt with.
No, it hasn't been dealt with.
FBI decided not to go further.
Let me tell you why it hasn't been dealt with. Because the court of public opinion is going to rule on whether it's dealt with. Maybe
polls aren't showing that. I'm sorry, but the polls aren't showing that.
Let's see what happens.
Right.
But in any event, the court of public opinion will decide this case one way or the other, not a criminal court.
All right, guys. Well, the State Department is known to have very high ethical standards. You know, what happens now, David? I'll throw that to you. How will the State Department handle this moving forward?
Well, they'll be going out, as they were this morning, informing people as to the facts. I mean, you had Chairman Kafritz going out and making these allegations that have been echoed by Trump's, as you had alluded to, and in fact, he hasn't even read the documents. So if you go and read the documents, one, there was no deal ever consummated. Secondly, there was no deal in the first place. And thirdly, it was mentioned by the FBI agent. It was not mentioned by Patrick Kennedy. So there you are. That will be revealed coming out. And then we can move on to the issues that are of more importance to the American middle-class family and the rest of America that's going out to vote on November 8th.
All right, well, let's bring this back around to the quickly approaching election. Do you think this could affect the outcome? How much weight will voters put into this, guys? I'll start with you, Brad.
Well, look, it's hard to break through with a media that is so in the tank for Hillary. Certainly it's up to Trump to prosecute the evidence. He is the main voice. He is at the top of the ticket. But certainly surrogates should be out there, especially ones that have a background in criminal justice, either with the government or in the outside. But it could be a big deal if it breaks through to the American people, because they're the jury. They're the ones who are going to have to rule on her fate, and that fate will come on November 8th.
All right, we're going to have to leave it there. I need to thank you both, David and Brad, for being here.
Good to be with you.
Always great to have your perspective. For complete coverage on the 2016 election, you want to go to foxnews.com, where you are now. I'm Laura Engel, and thanks for watching.